Welcome everyone to our 10 a.m. Collider coffee break, where we just take a few minutes on a Friday morning to let you know what we have been up to here at Collider over the past week to help entrepreneurs here in the community. So I'll send it to Jamie to start us off this morning.
Thanks so much. I guess spring has finally sprung, even though it was like 30 degrees here this morning, which is crazy. But the good news is we're starting to see more and more activity in the co-working space. Yesterday, I think we hit our record of 9 people all at once, which was really impressive. So I'm happy that people are coming back, that they're feeling a little bit safer, whether it's a vaccination or the steps we take to make sure that we're safe here at Collider, but probably a combination of all of that stuff. But it's great to see faces again and have conversations actually face to face instead of face to screen, which is the normal way I talk to people. Again, if you need to get out of the house, you're looking for a place, maybe a third space to hang out, please consider Collider Co-working. Really what I've been focused on is to reconnect with a lot of organizations and individuals here in Rochester, but actually outside of Rochester as well, to really tell Collider's story and to see potentially if there's any interest in partnering with Collider on various projects. So I've managed to reach out to quite a few people and got a lot of fantastic responses. I think it just shows that when we think about things like recovery or equity, entrepreneurship really plays a strong role in that. And people are really starting to acknowledge that, I would say more so than ever, and are willing to jump in and help. So I'm just really, all these conversations are super positive. Of course, you never know where they lead, but I just think that it shows that the future for us here in Collider and for our entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Rochester is bright. And with that, I'll send it back to Amanda.
So I wanted to start off talking about the stories we shared on Rochester Rising this week. So we had a wonderful story that Eric published about one of our ecosystem navigators, Christopher Loving, and his marketing, branding, and video production company that he launched during the pandemic. So please check it out and learn more about what Chris is doing in the community, as well as being an ecosystem navigator. Also on Rochester Rising this week, in a podcast and in an article that aired yesterday, I got to talk with Jeff Shupe, who is a serial entrepreneur and the president and owner of Schad Tracy Signs. This was a really, really great conversation that I got to have with Jeff, talking through a lot of the entrepreneurial endeavors that he's done over the years, some that were successful and some were not. And then how he got kind of interested in purchasing a company, a longstanding business in the community, and what that looked like for him. So this is something we have a lot of questions about, people interested in purchasing businesses and what that looks like. So if that's you and something you're interested, I would definitely encourage you to listen in to this week's podcast, episode 224 with Jeff, to learn about what that looked like for him. We're also ramping up our educational events here at Collider right now. They're still virtual. Hopefully they will move to small in-person groups in the future. But this week, or not this week, in June, we're having our next educational event on June 15th, how to market your business on a budget. So this online webinar will talk about the difference between branding and marketing, how to understand and really narrow in on your target audience, and how you can raise the profile of your business, spread exposure of your business on a low to no budget. So we're very honored to have this led by Collider member Dina Obloshiesha. I think it'll be a really, really great event. Dina does a lot with marketing, and she's a real expert. So we're happy to have her on board with this. So the webinar will be recorded, but we really encourage you to show up so Dina can answer your questions virtually during the webinar. It is free to attend, but we ask if you are able to consider giving a $10 donation to Collider so we can continue to provide free or low cost education like this in the community. And lastly, I just wanted to say next week is Eric's last full week with us. He's been with us since about the end of February, doing a lot of storytelling efforts with Rochester Rising, as well as with Collider. He's been doing a lot of tenant profiles, which I think has been really insightful for people who haven't been in the space ever or not since last March, to see really the people, the faces of Collider, and understand why they want to be here. Eric has done a tremendous job telling a lot of different stories while he's been here. And we've really enjoyed having him, and it will be sad to see him go, but I hope that he's learned a lot during this time and has some key things to take away from his Rochester semester with us. So that's it for me. I will send it back to Jamie for his final thoughts.
Absolutely. I'd just like to also acknowledge that Eric's done a fantastic job providing maybe a little different perspective than Amanda or I have in his storytelling. So he's done a fantastic job, and he definitely will be missed, but we wish him all the best on his future endeavors after he leaves his Rochester semester. So the final thing I want to point out is we are halfway through our Spring Forward Give Minnesota campaign for this season. And I checked the totals today, and yeah, we're not raising a ton of money. I'm just going to be honest. So we are far shy of our goal, which was $30,000. So, you know, I thought what I would do is actually give you an idea of, in just 4 days, what we've been able to do for entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial community. So in the last 4 days, since this is Friday and we haven't completed our day yet, we have hosted 2 peer groups, one for biomed, one for food. We have held our weekly Fourth and Toast public speaking group. We participated in 1 Million Cups Rochester. We assisted 12 entrepreneurs in our community with legal assistance, talent searches, connections to funding, finding interns, pitch deck review, and exploring new revenue streams. We held 6 discussions with individuals or companies to help them understand more about Collider and the Rochester entrepreneurial ecosystem. We welcomed a new member to Collider Coworking. We hosted 15 people in the space this week. We welcomed 2 drop-ins, which was amazing, and continued to explore the future of co-working with partners in the community. And as far as storytelling, we published 1 original article, 1 podcast, and produced this, our 10 a.m. Weekly Collider coffee break. So that's a lot of content, that's a lot of assistance, and that's just the quick list that I was able to generate right now over the last hour of thinking through my week. So, just to show you that we do a lot here at Collider, and even if it's just $5 or $10, it would be greatly appreciated. So please consider giving during this Spring Forward event. And with that, I'll send it back to Amanda.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in to our 10 a.m. Collider coffee break this morning to learn more about what we are doing here in the community. As always, we would encourage you to share this video with at least one entrepreneur here in Rochester that could benefit from what we're doing here at Collider. And we will have a brand new coffee break next Friday.